Hello, everybody. I'm George from Ireland, and I was wrong. I thought Reform UK would take the Gorton and Denton constituency, but they didn't. But the Labour Party came third in a constituency they controlled since 1931. Well, the areas that went to make up Gorton and Denton, and the Green Party took their first ever seat in a by-election. So obviously polls closed at 10 o'clock last night, and then all the results filtered through. Where I went to bed, I was looking for exit polls. So Hannah Spencer has won it with almost 41% of the vote. So she is a plumber, and how old is she? 34 years of age. So she's always lived in that area. Okay, and some people were doubting that she was a plumber just because she's a woman, which is preposterous. So well done, her. So Matt Goodwin, Reform UK's star candidate, well known from his time on GB News, he has failed to take the seat, winning not quite 29% of the vote. So remember, it was only slightly below what I thought they were going to get. I was forecasting his party would get 32% of the vote. But the point is, he's come second, and actually quite a distant second. Yeah, the ruining by almost 12 percentage points the Green Party, whereas Labour was pushed into third position. And what a disgrace for a party which has formerly held the seat. To lose the seat, which was a safe Labour seat, is disastrous enough. To be pushed into third place is beyond disastrous. So Angeliki Stodger there on just 25% of the vote. Now, she's obviously quite a feeble candidate, although she has lived in that area, northwest England, for almost 30 years. There's originally a Greek lady who's become a British citizen. I don't think her nationality counted against her. Notably, three of the top four candidates, or was it even more of the candidates, were women. The Green Party candidate, the Labour Party candidate, the Conservative Party candidate, Charlotte Cadden, got a disgraceful 2% of the vote. Liberal Democrats, even less of that, with Jackie Piercy. Sir Oinkalot from the fancy dress vote, that's the monster raving loony party, who would just play it for laughs. There was Advance UK, which is another, I think, ultra nationalist party led by Ben Habib, one of the many people who's fallen out with uh, Nigel Farage, had someone called Nick Buckley standing for them. There's Rejoin EU by Joseph O'Meara, the Libertarian Party by Dan Clark, the Social Democratic Party, which didn't quite dissolve in 1990, with Sebastian Moore, 0.1% of the vote, and the Communist League. So really is sending ruction through Labour. How disgraceful, how embarrassing for Labour, especially as though the Prime Minister went to campaign there against convention. And yes, it looked grim for Labour about a fortnight ago, but in the last week, Labour was suggesting they were quietly confident. They'd done their private polls and they thought they'd actually hold it. Well, they're eating their words now. So, the very good news for the Green Party, to show that they can stop Reform UK. But previously, Labour's argument was going to be vote Green, go Teal. If you vote for the Green Party, that's a wasted vote. You're throwing it away. That'll only put Reform UK in. The Greens say, no, vote red, go Teal. You're voting for Labour as a wasted vote, and the Green Party is a real radical alternative and can actually stop Reform United Kingdom. So it's a resoundingly good result for the Green Party, who only 10 years ago was seen as lunatic fringe, was a joke. They'd only have one ever MP, Dr. Caroline Lucas, for Brighton Pavilion. They now got four members of parliament and elected the last election. The Greens tend to do worst where it is green, the countryside. They're best in London. They got 2019 got sort of 4% of the vote, but 8% in London. Although the odd thing is they did win somewhere in like rural Norfolk or something. And they were somewhere in Western England and the countryside. They're very strong in Bristol. That's the greenest city in the United Kingdom. So it's got a strong far left vote. Now, the people saying, oh, yes, but there was family voting, because obviously since 2001, anybody can post a vote who wants. Previously, you had to have a reason, like you're going to be overseas at the time, or you had a medical condition why you couldn't make it to the polling station. But to boost turnout, anybody can post or vote, and then whole families were voting together, we're sending them together. And Reform UK said, oh, well, that's obviously the head of the household has voted for everybody, and that's not allowed, that's cheating, particularly coming from the Muslim community. Muslim community who tend not to be well disposed towards Reform UK. So this is going to be investigated. But even if there was some bogus voting, nevertheless, the margin of victory is such that it's really impossible to deny that the Green Party won this one. And they came from like nowhere. They did not have such a strong presence. in the constituency. They've gone up by 27 percentage points. You know, they only had about 13% of the vote before. Well, I mean, this is quite good for the Greens, but Reform UK was seen as serious contenders even beforehand. Wow, Andrew Gwynn's former constituency. So there'll be a lot of recrimination in Labour. Should they have let Andy Burnham stand? And would he have won it? But it would have been a close run thing. He might still have lost it, wouldn't have lost it by much. The King of the North, who's very well regarded in northwestern England. Is it because of more stuff from the Epstein files about Lord Mandelson? Was it a mistake not to dump Sir Keir Starmer? I know there's only one constituent out of 650, but it's yet more dreadful news for Labour. And it adds to my prognostication that Sir Keir is going to tender his resignation on the 8th of May. So just after the local elections, the Holyrood elections, and the Welsh Senedd elections. So, yeah, I mean, the Conservatives. As I say, the good news is it's such a humiliation for Labour to lose a safe seat, and not even to Reform UK, which is sometimes rated second in the national opinion polls, but to win it to the Greens, which is rated like fourth, stuff like that. So the Conservatives made almost no efforts. It's a good outcome for them in a sense. The Liberal Democrats, they can take no crumbs for comfort, really. Wow. So just terrible for Labour, as they're going to. What did they do wrong? How much longer can Sir Keir stay? But look at the Conservatives had some dreadful by-election losses. That one in Shropshire, sort of December 2021. I mean, whereas Boris Johnson, he still stumbled on for another 7 months or so. And yes, that it did predicate losing in 2024. But the Conservatives sometimes lost elections, went on to win by-elections, went on to win a general election. Labour's lost some by-elections, went on to win general elections, but not this much. This is rather a weather vane in what was previously a Labour stronghold. So the Greens, what do they get right? Their messaging: about a third of the population are Muslim. They banged on about Gaza, the genocide, an awful lot. Is it environmentalism to some extent? Yes, those who feel left behind. Capitalism doesn't work for them. The minimum wage is too low. I mean, they're promising the earth because they're not going to government. They're not going to have to deliver. So their far left policies: tax the rich and make them pay, decriminalize all drugs. I don't know, more on let's say public transport, abolish university tuition fees. How are they going to fund all this? This is an uncosted wish list. Okay, they're going to tax the rich so they leave the country. So it really is preposterous. Maybe she's a very charismatic candidate as well. That Hannah Spencer, who won for the Green Party. They're very pro transgenderism. Does that play well on the doorstep? I'm not sure. So, yeah, I thought it was going to be close, and I was dead wrong. What I was right about is it was very close between Reform UK and Labour. Now, these results are seldom replicated in the general election that follows, but because the Greens have won handily, there's a significant chance to actually hold on to it in the next general election. Right, thanks for watching my channel. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, donate to PayPal, georgecannon7@gmail.com. Goodbye.